Oh god, bitch, I am pissed the fuck off. The world is full of very stupid fucking people, and if I say some slurs in this video, I hope you forgive me, especially because technically any slur I say I already count as. I was in special ed for fucking 15 years or more. I'm gay, I'm trans in a very confusing way that usually only makes sense to other gay people, but they still appreciate it. And other trans people, obviously. I'm black. Not like I'd say that slur. Obviously not. And what else? There's one. Oh, if I say whore, slut, whatever, I don't care. If I say something fat phobic, I fuck fat people and I think they deserve rights to live and people should harass them less. But I will admit I am enough of a hypocrite, a bitch, and also a cunt. So if I say anything problematic in this video, a part of me is saying apologize in advance, and the other part of me is saying, well, I never said I was a good person. Let's drink some electrolyte. If you're like, Timothy, you seem in a worse mood than usual, it's because I downed like half a bottle of NyQuil on accident, as well as some peroxide mixed with water. It was mostly peroxide. My whatever the fuck organs are here, I don't know if it's the liver or the kidney, it's fucked up. Let's just say I thought I was taking a small dose, but I didn't have the little lid, and I totally forgot how small the lid is, so I was like, you know what, I can eyeball it. And then I actually recorded myself on video accidentally tilting it too far back and downing half the bottle, so guess who just slept for 13 hours straight today? Me. I'm not in a good mood. The nigga I was seeing. Did I tell you about the man I was seeing? His name is Michael. Fuck you, Michael. If you're like, what happened to Michael? Oh, Michael was the guy I was dating for, like, we had 2 or 3 dates passively over the past, like, 2 months. He's been a sweet guy, and, like, he's a Virgo. His birthday is literally the day after mine, so we're about the same age, minus, like, a year and a day, obviously, which is pretty cool. He's sweet. We have all sorts of shit in common. He is autism coded. He's the type of dude where he's just emotionally, like, he doesn't emote with his face very much. But, you know, he shows affections through, like, you know, chivalry. Like, he's the type of dude to show up to a first date wearing a suit and having flowers. I like that type of shit. He likes to talk so much about how he wants to be a provider type and how if a woman is in his life, he wants to make sure that she's well taken care of. Perfect for someone like me. He also, conveniently, last time we met up, let's just say I was ovulating and had a lot of soju in my system, and let's just say I consensually got slurped up by that man. We didn't take it further. Like, he doesn't know what part of me looks naked aside from my legs and my pussy. And maybe some of my ass. Let's just say that man made me come at absolute least 37 times, and 9 of those orgasms at least were squirting orgasms, and at least 4 of them were full-on splash zone, or, like, his passenger seat floor became a moat, let me tell you. It was great. He's the type of man to make you come and do the fish hook technique, and then just, like, you could come and just shoot out a fucking huge gallon of crystal geyser level squirt piss, whatever the fuck you call it, all over his car, and he will be like, damn, I've never done that before. And then you'll think, wow, that was great. That's like the 9th orgasm. I'm already fucking done for the evening. This nigga will look you in the face and be like, oh, one more? You want one more? Just, you know, like, kind of in the same way that someone who knows you're on a diet might tease, like, oh, you want one more cookie? Treat yourself. You don't, one more, you know? Except it was him doing that, but with orgasms. Oh my god, it was slutty. It was a very slutty evening. I didn't talk to him for 2 days after, and if you're like, Timothy, why did I do that? I mean, why didn't you talk to him for 2 days after? Because in the history of me ever trying to date men, it's never gone well. If I have had up with this sex, like I said, can bring out very strong reactions in me. Psychotic ones, passionate ones, romantic ones, all that. And I know how I am as a person. I thought to myself, do I really want to open myself to the heartbreak I've been shown yet again and again and again over, like, the whole decade or so I've been having sex with men? And deal with someone not delivering aftercare, or how they can go back to being totally normal after sex. It doesn't do that for me. So, you know, they can the next day wake up for work, enjoy their job, enjoy their lunch, do their normal fucking life shit. And then what happens to me? Do you want to know what I did for the first day that I wasn't talking for them? Laying on the floor staring into space. And even when I did try to do other things, I would still think about, wow, the orgasms, wow, the sex, wow, his eyes, wow, his face, how would our future kids look like? And then going through all these little maladaptive daydream fantasies about all the fucking ways that I would absolutely destroy our marriage if I were to be trusted to be married and have kids. And also me judging him in my head, because I know he's attractive enough for me to like have a little crush on, but not enough for me to swoon over. Not like he's attractive enough where I date him. Excuse me. Okay enough to marry, hypothetically, in concept, you know, in my daydreams. But I wouldn't like to have his kid. Like, I'm the type of person where it's like, I know what I want. And he's, yeah. But, like, I don't know. But, either way, I took a little break for a few days. Because I thought to myself, I have heard historically men fall in love through stress and distance, and you can't be too easily accessible to a man, and it's a bad idea. I also know to myself, it's like, okay, what usually happens is I get clingy and dramatic after sex, because it changes my brain chemistry and my hormones dramatically. I'll put it this way, I'm the type of person who's been so extremely depressed for God knows how long, like at least 2 years by now, where I need a shit ton of caffeine just to be able to fucking leave my house and like be trusted to do things. Like, hell, if anything, I just got back from the corner store and I got myself a little Ghost energy drink, orange cream flavor. It has not just caffeine, but it also has like carnitine, whatever, like vitamins and shit. I also got spaghetti and meatballs and all sorts of other shit, because whenever I have really homicidal thoughts and intrusive thoughts and intense bloodlust and rage, what really helps is eating tomato-based meat sauce dishes, because it kind of helps whatever like carnal primal thing in me just wants to kill, wants to eat, wants to fuck, wants to hunt, wants to die, wants to kill. I don't want to die, but I do want to kill. And sometimes the intrusive thoughts get very strong, so let's just say tonight is a night where sometimes you gotta keep yourself sane by isolating yourself from the world, talking to yourself on fucking YouTube, and getting a bunch of extremely delicious tomato-based pastas that have some sort of nutritional value of vitamins. I also got myself a bunch of incense, a new lighter, some abuelita hot chocolate, also some whole chocolate milk that I got from the corner store. Hopefully it's not spoiled, because these niggas have weird refrigeration. The niggas at the local corner store are a special type of stupid. Like, you'll give them, like, let's just say, I just got back from there. This idiot was like, you want a bag? And I said, oh, I don't want a bag. Oh, wait, actually, yes I do. Sorry about that. And he was still staring at me like he didn't know what I was saying. I said, I do want a bag. Yeah, I would like one, please. And he was like, oh, you want one? I said, yeah, yes, please. He said, okay. He rung up my stuff, handed me my change, my receipt, and then just proceeds to stare down at the counter. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he looks at me. Trapped in the Closet reference. I used to love that before R. Kelly was outed, but whatever. I still love it. I wanna, damn, maybe I should watch Trapped in the Closet tonight. I fucking love that shit. I'm sorry. I hate R. Kelly. Burn in hell, nigga. Wait, he's still alive. He burn on earth, nigga, and then burn a second time in hell. But I will say this. R. Kelly was the Trapped in the Closet masterpiece of a film. Oh my god, because it's so terrible, but it's so fucking funny. Because I even explained it to my white ex-boyfriend at the time, like a few years back, Liam. I told him when we were dating, I was like, it's funny, it's a hip-opera that R. Kelly made. And this is a massive spoiler, but he'll just sing about being in a closet, and I'm not in a closet, and he opens the closet, and that man was an officer, and it'll just be stupid ass hypothetical shit where it's like, she cheats on me, and I cheat on him, and this nigga's gay, and it just keeps going. And then there's a midget, pardon for the word midget, but that is the lyric. He does sing about how there's a little person in the cabinet. Sorry for that. I feel bad about saying midget, but still. Sorry to little people. I should stop doing this as I say little people. They might misinterpret what I'm doing. I'm not comparing height. I'm just saying, stop. I'm sorry. Like, anyway. But shout out to, yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, but the niggas at the corner store. Guess what this nigga did? I look at him, he looks at me, I look at him, and then I'm just like, oh, did you hear what I said? And he's like, huh? And I said, oh, I would like a bag, please. And then he's like, and then this stupid motherfucker, I don't get along with people with language barriers. I don't. Actually, I do, but sometimes I don't like people with language barriers and fucking attitude, because that's really what gets on my nerves. Call me a racist if you want, kill yourself. Shut up. Now, anyway, this nigga has the nerve to be like, what you want? You want bag or you don't want bag? What you want? You want bag? You want bag? And I said, yeah. Like, obviously, this nigga gives me a bag, and I mumble under my breath, and I'm just like, yeah, I said it like 5 fucking times. It's like, but I took that shit. And also, he just, it's like, fuck, you know what? He's a stupid punk ass bitch. And I am manifesting that he deals with even more crackheads than usual at his job soon. I hope he deals with more niggas with missing teeth that show up, slam dirty coins on the counter, call him a bunch of fucking messed up ass words like, punk you, lame ass bitch, give me that fucking... I gotta admit, I feel bad when that shit happens, but sometimes they treat me disrespectfully when I'm there. Like, they'll laugh at how my hair looks. Tonight is understandable, like, I got an antenna and everything. But other times it's like they're just fucking racist. It's like, don't laugh at me if I got an afro, because punk ass bitch, you work here for like $16 an hour at a corner store to get harassed by fucking crackheads who spit on you and hand you shitty fucking coins that they had in their asshole earlier, and you have to accept that shit and deal with that 180 times a day. And I hope if you deal with that more, because the one time you get someone who's actually like, please and thank you and have a nice day, you treat her like shit, fuck you. I hope you get 1,048 crackheads tomorrow. I want it to be like a sickening wave of just people hooked on drugs, twitching in your store, pissing on your floor, shitting on it. I hate you. I hope someone steals like 5 things from your store, calls you a punk ass bitch, and walks out and flips you off with a fucking finger with no nail on it. What am I saying? Okay, never mind. I want that person to have a fingernail, but like a nasty looking one. One that burns into your skull and keeps you up at night. Speaking of which, my toes look fucked up. I need to get a pedicure. If you can't tell, I'm under a lot of stress, but it's just like yesterday was one of those days. I just had a lot on my plate. You ever just deal with like too much fuck shit? And like little things. Like, it's like, okay, I'm having fun at this event dancing and having a good time. And then next thing you know, like, I'm gonna say it, 2 fat bitches like snickered or giggled as I walked past after they saw me dancing to like, I think it was Let's Groove Tonight, da, 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 in the spice of da, 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 and I had fun, and I was boogieing and shit, and it seemed like the girls were cool at first, but then once I walked past, it seems like they just, I can't tell if their giggle was like, oh, she's so cute, or oh, she's having fun, or fuck that bitch, or oh, look at her, type snicker. All I know is that my mental instability is getting much, much worse these days. For so many reasons. Some reasons I can say, some reasons I can't. And I know you're like, Tamia, what do you mean you can't tell certain things? Some things are just a little too disgusting. Some things are a little too disturbing and scary and can be used against me. So I'm just, some things I'm trying to deal with privately. Although I'm sure there's videos where I've mentioned it before. But either way, a part of me thought, wow, what did I do wrong this time? I'm having fun, I'm dancing, I'm vibing. And, you know, it's like something is happening with my brain that used to not happen before. But now a certain part of my skull just pinches and twitches really hard. It feels like the equivalent of when I get angry, a piece of my skull just like clamps down on my brain, or like some fucked up nerve starts twitching in my head. It feels like a vein just is gonna explode on this side. Excuse me. So moments that before, it's like, okay, some 2 big bitches who look like walruses and can't even move their fucking big mama yo arm ass elbow from one side of their body to the next because they're that fucking big and bloatery. And I know you're like, to me, that's so mean. I feel bad saying it. Don't think I don't. But it's like, it's just some big bitches mocking me. You don't have the confidence to dance. You are wearing like tank tops that are black and leggings that are black, and I'm looking cute like a little Mycene doll, enjoying it, hitting a little cute little boogie in public at a fucking event where I can dance, and you want to sit here and mock me? Before, I used to be the type of person where I could let something like that roll off my back like water off of a duck's back. Or I keep fucking up however that phrase is supposed to go. But simply put, I would let it just roll off my back and not think about it and be like, hey, it sounds like some insecure woman. Or, hey, maybe they're thinking something positive of me. Either way, who cares? I'm going to have fun tonight. But it just starts burning in my brain and twitching, and it just doesn't end. It doesn't end, and I just keep replaying it in my head to the point where that memory can overlook anything else. There was a million good things that happened tonight. Like, for example, I was dancing a lot harder earlier in the evening before those women arrived, and guess what? 3 beautiful bad bitches literally saw me dancing and enjoying myself to the music, and they were like, oh, okay, she's the one doing the DJing, she's playing some good-ass songs. They started moving and grooving too. They were like, oh, she's kind of got the moves with it. That was a beautiful memory, and I don't want the bad to overtake the good, you know what I mean? I'm trying my best. I might make spaghetti and meatballs in a second. But let's just say your girl is... Oh, other things happened too. I went to a comedy show, and you know, I'm known at this venue to be one of the people who will, if the audience is empty, I'll sit front row, because I want to actually make sure that anyone who gets up at the open mic feels like they have someone to perform to and talk to and engage with. But this time it was different. I'll put it this way. A comedian who I very, very much like and respect, and who seemingly likes me, they've been flirting with me more often, which I don't mind. They talked to me. I mean, they asked the audience, aka just me and this one other single guy who was there. And his joke punch, opener was like, do either of you think that sexuality is a choice? Me, I misunderstood the question, but I just gently say, yeah. And then the comedian on stage, he's like, really, you think sexuality is a choice? I'm like, yeah. And he said, wait, pause, hold up, stop the show. What do you mean you think sexuality is a choice? And then I'm just like, oh, I know plenty of gay niggas who pretend to be straight and, just choose to date women instead, and just go with it, and vice versa. And then I heard a few, groans of people in the background or whatever. And then they were like, no, and then people got mad at me. And no offense, I hate that. I'll put it this way. I had a lot of decorum that evening, but let's just say, I could have let out the side of me that I know exists within me. I could have let out the anger and the darkness. And I know that sounds corny, but I don't give a fuck, bitch. Because I really could have just been hey, shut the fuck up. None of you have gay friends. You only have, one fucking trans friend, and even then they're a token that you keep on the outskirts of your fucking friend group. And then on top of that, I'm actually queer. I'm actually gay. And I fuck gay niggas and all sorts of shit. I am the most experienced, because do you know how many niggas I've dated who are straight, but then will just casually reveal how many times they've sucked a dick, took it from the back, had threesomes, done this, done that, and then still choose to be straight? So, excuse me for misunderstanding the question, but having my own perspective to actually still be fucking right. Because God. Anyway, and then another thing happened, and then the evening just got weirder, and then also the comedian made a joke that was he tried to have a joke where the punchline, or the opening to the joke was going to be so whether someone's attracted to men or women or whatever third genitalia we're going to create that doesn't exist yet, that might in 2026, and I jokingly say, cloaca, and then you hear hella people in the background say, what? And I say cloaca, and then the comedian rolls his eyes and he's like, whatever the fuck that means, and he says some, but I don't want to think about it. It's making my brain do the fuck up Twitch thing. I will say though, also the other audience member had a snarky ass response to me. He just I'm gonna admit I don't like certain demographics, and I know you're like, to me that just sounds like a very nice way of saying you're racist. I might be, bitch, I might be. I think everyone deserves equal respect, but I will say certain times people can upset me, and they know who they are, and I know you're like, who the fuck are you talking? Okay, I'll put it this way. I don't want to say it outright, but I've said it outright before. Let's just say it's the demographic that you don't see me dating, and it's so funny because when I went out tonight, and I was in the corner store, there was this dude who looked kind of like. He seemed like he wasn't on actively drugs, but he seems like something was wrong with this man. But he's just looking up at the alcohol, and he looks at me, and then looks up at the alcohol, and he's standing and kind of blocking where the line is, and I'm just like, oh, hey, and he just kind of, side-eye glares at me, mouth hung open, and then goes back to staring at the shit. And then I just ask, oh, I'm sorry, are you in line, or can I get around you? And this nigga immediately with an attitude, or slow as fuck, he's just like, go on there. Go on, then, get around me, huh? And I roll my eyes, and he says something fucked up. And I think later in the store, he also said something alluding to raping me, if I heard him correctly, or if not about raping me. Something's, but all I know is he's definitely said some out of pocket shit. But I let that shit roll off my back because I thought to myself, it's late at night. I'm just trying to get home. And also, I will fully fucking kill this man with no hesitation. I would love the opportunity. Give me the fucking opportunity. Do you know how badly my intrusive thoughts get? Super bad. Super terrible. I often think about just like how in certain, like, we live in a polite society. So you have to be nice to people. But sometimes when someone's mean to me, I just think to myself, ooh, I wish I could just shove my thumbs into your eye sockets and dig deep. And I might have an orgasm doing that. And is that a sick thought? Of course it is. Did I say I was a good person? Debatable on when I am or not. Sometimes thinking about violence gets my dick hard. Sometimes people piss me off so much that in the moment, I have to, like, I know what happens when I black out. I know how bad shit can get. Sometimes I want to just straight up sink my teeth into someone's neck and bite down as hard as possible, even if the thing they did to me isn't that bad. I want to do a lot of bad things to people. Actively. I don't like people. Oh, sorry. But as I was saying, the audience member, he just so happened to be a part of a demographic that I already do not like. But did I think he was cool? Yes, until he went out of his way to, like, with attitude, get all neck-snappingly, like, raising his voice for no fucking reason with his yuck mouth. Like, nigga, your teeth are yellow, your eyes are yellow. Fuck you. Your hairline's breaking apart like fucking Pangea. Don't you ever get an attitude with me. But this nigga had the nerve to be like, no, he's not talking about people repressing what they're naturally into. He's talking about people who, and then he had, and I don't like his tone of voice, but me, I'm a very polite person, believe it or not. You would not guess based off of what type of shit comes out of my mouth that I say and tell y'all about, but obviously there's a huge difference in the way I act versus what I will confess when it is almost 1 a.m. and I'm tired and exhausted and irritable. But either way, in person I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. I just didn't understand the question, thank you. But deep down in my head, I thought to myself, I could fucking kill you with a wooden stake right now and you disintegrate, you piece of shit. I hate, and then I thought of like a lot of extremely disturbing and offensive, disgusting things that I didn't say. The rest of the evening, you would have never guessed that I had a problem. And, you know, things still went well. The comedian on stage, he still said a joke about how I'm one of the most unhinged people in the comedy scene in the area, if not the entire fucking, like, state, and how it is something that I am most adored and loved for. And, like, I still got praise, and, like, that comedian himself, he still flirted with me several times that evening. The audience member, I still talked to him. I was like, hey, buddy, thanks for a good time. Thank you so much for coming out and staying till the end. We really appreciate that around here. And he was super nice. I got his name. Did I remember it? Fuck no. Because I remembered the bad shit. But guess what? I still talked to him. I smiled. I said all sorts of like, thank you for sticking around. Ooh, the best day you should come is Friday. Saturdays, I don't know. It's rare for a Saturday to not be full of people. But on a Friday, oh, that's the best night. What are you doing coming here on weekdays? Fridays are the nights where it's always great. Like, and I went through my evening, and plenty of other good things happened in the evening, and you would never guess that I secretly had that rage in me. But you know what happened when I got home? I'll put it this way. I assume it was the effects of 2 Red Bulls, 3 different types of alcohols in my system. It was tequila, vodka, and bourbon. Because let's just say the very sweet, lovely bartender at the first place I went to that evening, do you know how annoying it is looking people in the face and being like, hi, can I have a Red Bull whiskey? And then they'll say, oh, Red Bull vodka? And I'll be like, no, with whiskey. And then later on, they'll, Anyway, let's just say, if I ask you for Red Bull whiskey and you give me Red Bull whiskey, and then I come up and say, hi, can I get another Red Bull whiskey? And then you say, oh, okay, what was in it again? It was Red Bull and vodka and then I gotta be like, oh, no, it was, I used whiskey this time. But, and then, you know what I got? Red Bull vodka. But, and then, let's just say I had too much to drink in my system and a lot of caffeine. So I'm aware that stuff like that can alter my brain chemistry because brain fog, inflammation, plus already existing mental illness and intrusive thoughts do not go well together. So let's just say I was up really late last night, feeling all sorts of types of ways. I had a lot of weird little microaggressions. Hell, like, it would be... Also, I think one specific mental illness I have is getting worse, to the point where I'm actually getting scared. To say it simply, I'm hearing voices. Now, it's debatable on if I've heard voices my whole life or not, because I do remember when I was younger, my mom used to call me into... she would call us kids into her bedroom by screaming our name. But then there would be times where I would come into her bedroom like, yes, I heard you say my name. And then she'd be like, no, I didn't. I'd be like, you didn't? Oh, I'm sorry. And then I'd leave. And then it would happen several times. And I remember at some time my mom had to physically sit me down and be like, Tamia, you keep coming into my room and storming in like there's a fire and saying that I called your name, but I haven't been calling your name. So, I don't know if you think that's funny or if it's a joke, but knock it off because it's getting annoying. And I was like, oh, I just keep swearing that you do it. And then her stupid retarded ass, and like I said, I always said, I'm just like, fuck her, she's retarded. I'm gonna say it because obviously I'm in a situation where I'm describing mental disabilities of mine. I can call this bitch retarded because she is. This stupid whore, she's like, okay, well, if you think you hear it again, just don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. And so, guess what happened next? I was minding my business. I heard her call my name. I ignored it. I heard it get called again. I just thought to myself, minded my business, kept drawing, kept doodling. Then she gonna storm into the room like, to me, I know you hear me calling you. Why you ignoring me? And I'm like, oh, I thought it was, I didn't, and I think I just had to brush it off and just be like, I didn't hear it, I'm sorry. But deep down I was thinking, oh, well, you said to ignore the voices when it came, and yeah. But to this day, a part of me still wonders if she was just fucking with me, because my mom does, doing sick, weird, traumatizing shit to her children. I wouldn't be shocked if she was just getting off on gaslighting me. But if it was genuinely me hearing voices, then I swear to God that shit was terrifying. And I'm opening up about it now because I know that it needs to be documented now before it gets worse. Because I didn't document it before, and now I kind of regret it because I can't fully tell when it started. I'm hearing voices. Really terrible voices. Of people saying terrible things. Sometimes slurs. Sometimes it'll just be like, stupid whore. Nigger. Stupid bitch. Faggot. Stupid whore. And it'll just be in the back of my brain and I'll just... But it sounds so distinctive that someone could shuffle or rustle their clothing. Or simply, just look at me. Or they could giggle. Or they could say something entirely different. And it gets annoying to the point where, I have to distinctively recognize what's real and what's fake. I have a lot of other mental symptoms that I'll tell you about. Maybe in this video I'll finally reveal certain things that I've hidden my whole life. Because why not? Life's short. But let's just say... Do you know how scary it is where you could have a conversation where someone looks you in the eyes and they're like, oh, Timmy, you're such a wonderful person. And you're we love having you around so much. And then as they turn away, you hear, nigger bitch. And then you have to just in your brain be like, okay, they did not call me that. That was just potential schizophrenia or something else. That was not that. But sometimes it is that. It is and I think it's happening because I can't even pinpoint when it started, but I would say sometime maybe last year when I had that really traumatic breakup from the guy from last summer, the one who we don't say the name of. Because, yeah, I think that actually is when it started. I think I hit a new specific mental low at that point. A lot of weird shit happened the second that relationship got abusive and traumatic to me. I have no idea why, but I don't know. I really don't know. All I can say is it's getting to the point where it's scary. It's getting to the point where, I've had a lot of, how do I put this? I also do live in a shit-talking ass city. You could wear a nice outfit, you could wear a bummy outfit, you can hear people talking about you, openly or not openly. They'll whisper shit, they'll say it to your face, they'll say it out loud to embarrass you in front of as many people as they can. People are just assholes. But it's starting to... And I have had days where I've walked outside and then everyone outside decides to talk shit on me for being a cute girl wearing a big orange jacket with a big orange, maxi dress. And it's how is this the most interesting thing on my block right now? It's a cute outfit. What the fuck is up with niggas? And just... I've dealt with it a lot. I don't know why my brain is just deciding, oh, hey, Tamia, you remember all this shit that happened to you that was low-key traumatic and stopped you from going outside? Imagine if you pictured that exact same shit happening every time you so much as opened a window, or stepped outside for a quick little convenience store run, or did this or did that. And it's so fucking frustrating. On one hand, one can say it's making me unfazed by certain critiques or whatever, but on the other hand, it's making me more paranoid. Because I could be out and swear that I heard all these bitches talking shit over my shoulder, talking out their neck about me, calling me all sorts of slut, whore, bitch, nigger, cunt, faggot, all sorts of shit. And the next thing you know, I'll hear from a friend, they'll be like, oh yeah, the room was buzzing about you. People were talking about how cute your outfit was, how nice you were, how friendly. People really love you. They adore you. And it's like, oh. And do you know how much it scares me? Because I'm the type of person who likes to be grounded in reality. I do not like things like this because who knows how bad it could get. I turned 25, August 27th. It's August 4th as I say this. I know that the bad thing about being 25 is that you get kicked off of your parents' medical plan. Not like Kaiser was actually doing anything good for me, but I have to say, extremely annoying to know that it's like, okay, instead of extremely shitty, hard to get, hard to access free therapy, now it's no therapy. Maybe I won't be able to get iron pills and magnesium to stop, and vitamin C and A to stop certain mental conditions that my grandmother on my dad's side passed down to me. Maybe I'll just have to go without health care 100% now. And I have less than 20 days to get my life together using that health care. Like, if only I started sooner, maybe I would have been able to, well, I don't know. It's not like I had this shit years ago, otherwise I would have immediately gotten treatment for it. Because then I would have definitely got on some antipsychotic medication and done what I needed to do. I'm just scared is all. I don't know. It feels weird. Everything's so weird. One would also assume that I would possibly have brain damage from all the caffeine and alcohol I've been consuming. Like I said before, I used to be an extreme lightweight surrounding alcohol. Like, I couldn't even have the smallest sip of some pink or white wine without being on my floor in aching pain for the next few days, or head throbbing pain. And I have drinking so much over the course of a year that now I can enjoy alcohol freely and stuff. But let's just say I've noticed my body reacting in other ways. Lunacy, psychotic episodes, inflammation, brain fog, bloating, weight gain, mental duress, the extremely bad come downs. Like, let's just say, imagine you've been self-medicating using obscene amounts, like almost life-threatening amounts of caffeine every day, 400 milligrams of caffeine every fucking day, and it's not even fully out of your system by the time you add in another 400 milligrams, and then even more alcohol, and like, it's like, to an extent, and then also, life-ending trauma really, really, really didn't help. I think did I tell you about how a buddy of mine actually gave me an Adderall recently? Yeah, let's just say, trying an Adderall when you're already a little, like, I wasn't that hungover, but I was still kind of hungover, let's just say, taking an Adderall when you're hungover, even if it's an extremely low dose for someone else, because of what's in my family lineage for mental illness and whatnot, let's just say it immediately caused an extremely bad suicidal episode. So therefore, yeah, no weed for me. Definitely, like, I'll put it this way. I like to live a mostly straight edge life. And I'm trying to get back into it, but my god, it's getting unbearable. Because people are pissing me off in ways that are frustrating. And I'm just so tired of inconsistent people and weird social scenes, and I'm also tired of being alone. If anything, yesterday night, I considered suicide again. I almost did it, but I avoided it. And I was like, I tried so hard. I tried so hard. Sorry, 1 second. I want to be sane. Mostly, to an extent. I want to have a good life. I want to be happy. But yesterday night, I was thinking to myself that yesterday, so much more happened. Like, people being, ignoring me on purpose, snotty attitudes, hella weird shit. Like, hella weird shit. Like, oh my, like, the types of shit where it's like, nigga, if I said I understand, stop trying to repeat the same sentence 8 times, you're disrupting the show, and you're spitting in my fucking ear, and, like, fuck's sake. Like, she just, just little shit. Little shit. That turned into big shit. Honestly, I think anyone else would actually have a bad day. But the thing is, not everyone else goes through what I go through. If you just looked at my bedroom right now, you'd be like, wow, Tamia, you need extreme, extreme help. Of course I do. And since I can't exactly get it, because we don't really live in a society that could truly help out that type of shit, you know what I do? I get my fucking Pedialyte or my Electrolyte. I get some microwavable spaghetti and meatballs, some caffeine. I fill up some water so I can try to stay hydrated. And then hopefully I can make it to next morning without dying. And then if you're like, what happens by next morning? I'll probably go out again, buy another fucking caffeine, and hopefully get myself out the house to take a walk before 5 p.m. Because as much as my depression and anxiety and all my other illnesses tell me that I cannot physically leave my place, or else bad things will happen, I also know deep down it's like, girl, put on your noise-canceling headphones, take your walk in the sun, because you know that if you don't get enough sunlight, you experience lunacy. And we don't have that many more days of summer left, so enjoy it while I got it. Because once that fog goes in, I think it's going to be a third winter in a way that's going to get really bad for me mentally. I don't think I'm going to make it past this one, y'all. I'm trying. Jesus. Oh, about the Michael guy. The Michael guy was nice. He was, like, I enjoyed his company. If you don't remember Michael, first date we went out to this jazz restaurant and we ate sushi and talked a little bit. We didn't talk too much, but it was still nice. And then we almost had a date on July 5th, but then they were weird and like we had a bit of a bickering because they got anxious, so they're like not being sure if I wanted to still meet them or not, and they get on my fucking nerves. And so I called them retarded, and they sent me a photo of some flowers they had chosen for me for our second date, still in their fridge, and they sent a paragraph apologizing for how foolish they were, and also still chastising me a bit for calling them retarded, but still overall apologizing, and it was sweet. And I felt bad. And then later on, I saw him stalking my Instagram even as late as 4 a.m. So I called him up. We had a nice little, like, maybe 30-minute hour-long call where we just talked about stuff like, what kind of movies are you into? What do you like to do for fun? Tell me about your life. How's life been going since I've last seen you? And I ripped off the Band-Aid. I was like, were you stalking my Instagram? And he was like, and he just claimed that I sent him an Instagram link, and then naturally my profile got recommended to him through the algorithm. And it's like, you know what? I'll believe that. Even though that hasn't happened to me before, I will believe it. Sure, why not? You wanna know what happened next? Let's see. What did we do for... Oh, later on we ended up meeting. He took me, we had a little late night drive. It was impromptu. I knew I had a rough day and I was going to be up. He was going to be up because he also had a rough day and was going to be sleeping anytime soon. So we met up. We went to Walgreens. He got me candy for an event I was hosting. Also some skincare stuff I really wanted. And some Doritos. He bought a bunch of candy for me. He taught me how to drive. And what else happened? Something else really nice happened. I forget. But all I can say is the night ended with a kiss and a hug. It was pleasant. Then the next date, the one that was just like about 3 days ago, that was especially nice. Because, yeah, let's just say he got off of work. I showed up looking gorgeous. We had a lot of like soju in our system, and he got me all the food I wanted. One thing led to another. Next thing you know, 37 orgasms in the passenger seat of his car. Amen. That shit was great. Yeah. But he also respected that I didn't want to have full sex, and he didn't want to either. He wanted to take it slow. He was still jumping ahead a bit. He was talking a little bit about, like, marriage and kids and stuff. I don't get it. I don't know. Like, this is coming from me, someone who, and I enjoy when men do that, but even then, to an extent, it's like, dude, I don't even know your fucking middle name or your favorite color. I forget how many siblings you have. Like, come on now. But whatever, dude. Anyway, I didn't talk to him for 2 days because I know how I get. I'm very self-aware about what mental illnesses I have and the things that I have to do to try to keep them in check. Like, just like how I have to be like, okay, no, realistically, that was not my friend saying a bad thing about me as they turn their head. They love me so much and they would never do that ever in their life. Oh no, like, sometimes I have worse things. Fuck, I'll give you a taste. Sometime growing up, I've seen things. I don't know if my family. I don't know. My family definitely didn't know about it. The closest was my half sibling, that stupid bitch. I remember once I was having really bad, like, visual terrors that were happening, and I was standing on my couch, just like, no, no, get out, get away, please, no, no. And then my stupid ass sister, I remember she was in like middle school, high school around the time, she walks in and she's like, Tamia, what are you doing? Get off the couch. And then just walks away and goes back to talking on the phone with her friends and doing her makeup. Pretty fucking stupid. She was not a smart girl. None of my family was smart. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I don't know. It's very amusing how blatant some signs of like child abuse and mental illness and many more things were apparent for me as a kid, and the people around me, even if they were medical professionals or whatever, just did nothing. Like, mandated reporters did nothing. Adults that could help did nothing. This is also why I like to research about serial killers and cults, because then you get to read about how it was clearly someone who at first needed help and could have received it, but no, because of laws around institutions, or because of corrupt officers, or shitty parents and shitty teachers and abuse and things getting swept under the surface and many more things, it can make a situation that didn't need to be so bad get fucking terrible. And we need to work as a society to improve a lot of things so that shit doesn't repeat. For example, if my grandmother would have told me many, many years before about what she mentally went through, that would have spared me from an entire childhood of seeing some very terrifying visual things and not knowing what the fuck they were, and just having to learn how to ignore it and keep my mouth shut about it, because subconsciously I knew nothing good would have came. Like, I had the type of parent where she would threaten to beat your ass if you didn't remember every single detail of your day at school correctly. I didn't want to see what this bitch was gonna do if I mentioned, like, hey, I see things that aren't there and they're scaring me. She didn't even know how to handle fucking bullying. Or, like, when I got too full at dinner. Like, come on now. Anyway, but if my grandma would have told me much, like, I wish that at some point when I was 12, she would have been like, oh yeah, when I was younger, they needed to give me a heat lamp because I used to lose my mind in the winter, and then would have just told me about how she used to see things that were terrifying. But, like, I get why she didn't. She grew up in a society where back then they would have lobotomized you or sterilized you or something more if they found out. So it's a blessing that she kept her mouth shut and she got to live a life, and now look at me, I'm one of her descendants, and I'm here. Look at how happy I am about it. Also, funny enough, when I do drink too much caffeine, like too much coffee, I remember once I had to leave work early because I had to literally scream cry into the phone to my manager at 3 a.m. about how something really bad was happening mentally and I just needed to have a day off. And she could tell something was really wrong, and it's like, yeah, it got to the point where I was hearing things and seeing things that weren't there. Now, don't worry about that, because I'll put it this way. I don't know, like, imagine if it felt like you took acid, but you know you didn't. And then next thing you know, you swear that there's, like, I don't know, the fucking Hat Man or a shadow in the corner that's not there. Or imagine that you think you see a person behind you, but you know damn well it's like, no, that's just a funny looking shadow in your apartment, calm down. It's like, shit like that. Or, like, shit was swirling that didn't need to be swirling, attention span. Like, like, you get all the adrenaline of as if you're in a fucking fast-paced car that's about to crash, when in reality you're just sitting at your desk at your job and you've only been there for 20 minutes but it feels like it's been 20 years type shit. That's how it feels. Not a good feeling. Interesting feeling, not exactly a good one. I know that there's a music video out there where a guy made a song about his granddad who killed himself, at a train station because he had schizophrenia. And I thought it was actually a very interesting, like, if you wonder how it's like, then I think there's a lyric that's like, follow me, I have something to show you. Except it's timed at the exact time as like a train's horn and blare goes, so that you can kind of visually hear. It's like, this is what he heard. He thought that the train was physically talking to him through its fog. Deep down, it's like, no, you're just hearing things that aren't there. Very dangerous, very dangerous. Also, I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again because it is relevant. I think the reason I hear these things, not just because I've had several years of people gossiping, talking shit behind me as I'm there. Well, my whole lifetime people have done that. It's annoying. But especially what's bad is that I remember when I was homeless for a bit, and at some point, the schizophrenic young man was in the hotel room directly in front of mine. And the walls were extremely thin, so I could hear people partying, fucking, all sorts of shit. But what was the worst is that this man was so schizophrenic, and he just would not stop screaming, nigger whore, faggot, nigger whore, retard, get off of Rochelle, she's just a baby, she's a kid, gah, nigger fat, and he would just scream, nigger whore, fat, and he would scream that endlessly at the top of his lungs, while screaming and bleeding and crying. Bleeding as in like a sheep, like, not like bleeding like blood, but like, and he would do that for hours, and I had to keep making it a habit to call security to be like, hi, he's doing it again, can you go up and talk to him? And at some point security did go up, and they were like, yeah man, you gotta go if you're gonna be doing that shit. And I felt so bad, but like, personally, I remember I was young and I was scared. I was 20 at the time. I didn't know what would have happened if I went next door and knocked on the door of this random man who I don't know. Like, it could have ended with a polite civil conversation. Maybe it could have ended with me making a new friend who I could tell had similar mental symptoms as me, but just was dealing with it in a way more traumatic way than I was. It was obviously someone who had PTSD and schizophrenia. I know how that's like. But I don't know how well it would have been like to be like, hi, I have a much more diluted version of what you've got. Would you like to talk to me about your childhood trauma? Maybe that would have gone well. Maybe there's an alternate reality where I would have made a friend. Maybe there's an alternate reality where I would have been beaten up by that dude, or raped, or something bad could have happened, or like a million things. All I know is the guy who was screaming and crying and saying all the slurs and shit, he opened the door and you heard him say, I'm sorry, it's just I don't have my meds and it's been such a bad night, and my friend's supposed to meet me and she didn't meet me and it's just been hard, I'm gonna take a walk. And I feel so bad. I'm so sorry to that man. I didn't hear any more, at least I don't remember if I heard any more screaming after that. Maybe he checked out the hotel, I just hope that man's still alive, and I hope they get the help they need, because clearly they've been through a lot. And from what I did hear, it seems like they just went through a very traumatic, terrible, like, abusive childhood full of like, really racist pedophiles. And so I guess their brain just kind of has them living in that memory over and over and over again. And I wonder if my brain's doing that. I wouldn't be shocked if at some point my brain just so got used to the soundtrack of my life being people whispering about me, people judging me over my race, my looks, my sexuality, my anything, and just hating me for it. And now it just adds to it just decided, we should make this a permanent soundtrack in her life. It's the remix, dun 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 dun, dun nigger, whore, faggot, slut, nigger, whore, and it's just fuck. It's not funny though. I hate that shit. It's a specific reason why yesterday night when I was speaking out, I was like, do I want to, like, I'm burnt out and I'm sad. Would hanging out with other people be better, or would it just be a reminder that other people suck and will fuck me over at any given opportunity, but also my schizophrenia might make me paranoid and think that other shit's happening around me when it's not anyway. Or being inside. But being inside, sometimes it can help, sometimes it can worsen whatever mental thoughts and states you have that people, like, self-fulfilling prophecies. You get what I mean? Dangerous. Anyway. I'm feeling better now that I've talked about it. And also, you know what? I made a promise to myself years ago, even a full decade ago when I was 15, that I would be very candid about the things that I had in my life. And I wouldn't hide certain things. And it's getting to the point where it's like, you know what? Excuse me. I haven't seen my family in like 4 years. Give or take. And I'm happy about that. They have no control over my life and they can't use this information against me. And even if they tried to, what would they be? It's like, people would be like, hey, you didn't mention this about your daughter before. You never brought it up. If it truly was that bad, why didn't you use any resources to help? Right. And then, just, yeah. Plenty of things. All I can say is, I'm sure I'm going to be okay. Am I? I remember once I met someone online. They were friends with me and my ex-friend Talia, and it was very sweet. And I remember the way we all talked together. And they went by the name Ruby. That was their name. And they talked about how they had dissociative identity disorder, as well as like blackouts, as well as like, what's the third thing? They had something else that oh yeah, potential schizophrenia. And it felt nice to talk to someone freely about it and just joke about it and just be like, yeah, like. And then our friend Talia, who also went by the name Purple, they were like, oh shit, how do y'all deal with that? And it's just like, you just kind of, it's like, and we kind of joked, it's like reverse gaslighting, it in a way. Like, your brain will be like, oh my god, it's that fucked up thing in the corner, and you just tell yourself, no, not. That would be so unrealistic. They don't even make those in that size. Please. And then you go on with your life and your business totally fine. And you just ignore it. Or you just stare at it and you watch it like flicker and go away. And it's like, alright, that's gone. Like, it has like a little TV static or like a little, like, hard to explain it. You know how it looks in Minecraft when your character gets injured and they kind of like flash a little bit or whatever? I think that, or at least I think I'm getting it right. Or how in some video games that, like in Mario. Yeah, in Mario. You know how in Mario when you get hit and you lose a life or whatever, his character kind of like flashes and goes invisible for a few seconds to show that he just got injured and you knock the coins out of him and shit? It's kind of like that. That's how it's like with schizophrenia. Or at least whatever the fuck I've got. Because... Oh, I'm feeling sleepy. Which is a good sign. I forgot what I was saying. I'm gonna... Sorry, I'm feeling really sleepy. I should probably make myself some food and wash my hands. But I'm feeling good. And it feels good when I meet people who have, like, similar mental illnesses as me, and they're able to talk about it freely, joke about it, talk about how to cope with it. I've dated plenty of people who, like, even if I am open about certain things, they misunderstand what I mean. Or they'll just try to be like, oh, you aren't mentally ill, you don't have that. Why would you talk? Or they'll try to, like, it'll be the type of niche of dude who just doesn't want me to have a disability, because then it would mean they'd have to admit that they're attracted to someone with a disability or whatever. Or, you know what I mean? And then, I don't know. I was gonna say something important. Oh, I guess I could finish up the Michael thing. So, I didn't talk to him for 2 days. I could have given him a warning, but I heard that men psychologically they fall in love through distance and through stress. And I thought to myself, hey, we just had like a bunch of fingering, squirting sex. I think he can handle, like, he's gonna be busy as fuck these next 2 days. He might not even notice that I don't message him. Let's just say by the time I've tried to message him back now, he's the one ignoring me, and now I'm crashing out about it. But it's okay, because I'll put it this way. One, I already was talking to somebody else anyway, on top of him, so it's like, the downside is, oh no, I won't be able to, like, have a provider boyfriend, or whatever the fuck he was gonna be, and I won't be able to, or at least not him. I won't be able to have him as a provider boyfriend. I can still get a provider boyfriend. It just won't be him. And I can move on with my fucking life. But it's still a little annoying because it's like, fuck, I was spending like the last 2 weeks looking up cute birthday outfits and planning like little things we could do to enjoy the rest of the summer together. And I was actually starting to feel like a normal girl who could have like normal relationships, normal love, normal affection, and not have like psychotic breakdowns just because she had an orgasm from a man. Or like someone who's not stricken with like all her traumatic past and abandonment issues and stuff. And I felt like I was getting really close to being normal. And for the past 2 days where I didn't talk to him, the first day was a bit rough, but it was okay. The second day, both days I was painting, planning out events, talking to tons of people, just platonically. Making videos, making content, making art. I was brainstorming cool stuff for the holidays, brainstorming awesome stuff to do before the summer ends, and just having a great time. And it sucks because now it's like, oh, there goes going shopping for like a cute little birthday dress and a necklace or something, and then going out to do like bioluminescent kayaking tours with this nigga. And then hopefully getting to feel his nice, thick, girthy cock in me. Oh well. And then I just have to kind of restructure my, like, I have to make sure that I don't spend the rest of, like, several weeks leading up to my birthday being depressed over this man. Because deep down, I know that's the type of man where, would I have his kid? Yeah, but I don't think it would be an attractive child, and I don't want to have unattractive genes. Like, I'll put it this way, I already have mental illness in my fucking gene pool on both sides. And it's been whooping my ass, as clear as you can tell. I'm not trying to add an ugliness. The thing that I've already had going for me is that both sides of my, like, almost every single member of my family is attractive. God bless that future. I'm not trying to fuck it up by having sex with a dude who has, like, dead fish eyes and a weird little beak nose and fucked up thin lips. His lips are honestly, like, ugh, I hate those. Even though, if you saw the way I was tongue-kissing that man down a few days ago, you'd be like, to me, are you, like, there are people you can be sexually attracted to, but deep down you would not want to have a kid by. Let's just say, he seems like the type of guy that would be cool in concept, but in my daydreams, we have some chaotic ass marriage endings. I don't want to talk about what I do in hypothetical situations. Let's just say I apologize to my hypothetical kids in those situations. They deserve a better parent, and hence I should never fuck that man without a rubber. Or at all, ideally. Hell no. I'm already the result of two people who shouldn't have been fucking. In fact, most people in my bloodlines are. Yeah, my Papa should have never fucked Granny. My grandma should have never gotten with that evil-ass, abusive, creepy man. And my parents were too stupid to fuck each other with rubbers that were not strong enough for my cool-ass self. And I popped out. And I guess now it's on me to, like, hopefully choose someone who's going to be healthy for me. And also, I gotta make sure my generational trauma ends with me. God bless. But, and if I have the nerve to reproduce, I would like my kids to at least be pretty enough where people won't just be like, oh, look, that person's insane, lock them up. They'll be like, you're insane. Go, girl boss. Go, handsome stud. Live out your dreams. Like, because if you're ugly and you're fucking mentally ill, they'll treat you like how they treat that young black dude on the Howard Stern show. What's his name? Meatball? Hamstock? The short one with the fucked up teeth? And they use him as a punching bag, and they mock him and shit, and it's fucked up. I'd rather my kid be attractive enough where they can just be as fucked up and sick in the head and disturbed as they want, and instead they just, like, have a cult. Or a reality TV show. Like a good one. Like one that tops Love Island views. Which is crazy because I hear everyone talking about Love Island. I will never watch that show. Fuck that. Also, if you're like, to me, are you serious? I'm half kidding. I don't want my kid to have a cult. Unless it was like a really, really nice one, but it's like I only know of one nice cult, and that's because back in the day I have a buddy who was a vigilante when he got caught selling weed. And so basically back in the day, he found like a little kind of mini cult off the coast of like the Florida Keys. And then, it's like a nude cult where it's like they just had sex all the time, acid, LSD, endless fishing and fresh fruit and harvesting and dancing and partying and a lot of fun and reading literature and sitting by the water and just having a great time. And that sounds amazing, nigga. And then he left, and the next thing you know, it all went to shit. And next thing you know, rape, incest, pedophilia, evil shit. And yeah, it's like, so fuck cults. I want my kid to be ideally as mentally stable as possible. Like, if I could fuck someone who does not have mental instability, but still is aware of how mental instability is like, hell yeah. Combine, maybe we'll get lucky and I won't have a kid that's totally disturbed. That'd be great. And if my kid has any disturbances, I want them to have a loving two-parent home that can, where they look good, like me, and like my fucking whoever I marry, if I get married. I'll probably get married, maybe. And then we have the resources to help them, and they have a society that will love them no matter what. I'm just saying, I know how the world is, and I want to be careful. Like, I'm aware I've only gotten away with certain things because of my skin color, my cheekbones, and my titties, and my waistline, and other things. Sad thing, but, one day we will all have fights. Amen. Maybe when the world is nicer to certain demographics and has positive opinions of them, then maybe one day I can have a kid and I won't have to worry about how the world will treat it with how it looks. But anyway, but also just for my own personal preference, I'd like to have a kid that I actually would like to look at. Like, sure, it's like, I'm sure I would love any kid that comes out of me. I'm just saying that it's like, it's like, do I really want to have a kid that's gonna have, like, thin fucking lips and a weird little nose and fucked up dead little fish eyes and no emotions like Michael? And what if it was a girl? Then she'd have a really hard time in life, because the world's not exactly the nicest to ladies. It's not nice to men either, but it's like there's a distinctive difference. Like, niggas can be ugly. You can make money and be fine. What if you're a girl? You're fucked. You are fucked. You're fucked. I'm saying. Anyway. I should go to sleep soon. Oh, it is 1:13 a.m. Amen. Well, yeah. I'm not even that sad about Michael. It's more just the loss of opportunity, because I was really excited. I was like, hell yeah, me and Michael are going to go shopping in Walnut Creek, and then go to a fancy dinner, and then we're going to go on this nice little trip together to celebrate our birthday. But deep down, I already was talking to another dude who was like, hey, we could go to Costa Rica, because I also met this other Latino dude who also had his fucking birthday, like, just a week before mine, and I was like, okay, damn, which one do I want? Do I want shopping spree guy who might be long-term consistent, lives in my area, and I could really have a nice time through the winter, like hanging out and cooking it with him and all sorts of cute stuff? Seems great. But Costa Rica. Cringy, light-skinned R&B type guy, but Costa Rica. And it's like, poor K-Nolo's dose, obviously. But then a part of me would still feel kind of bad, but let's just say I don't feel bad anymore because Michael abandoned me. So now I can focus all my attention on Costa Rica guy, and instead of being like, oh, I have to cry over this nigga, I can now just be like, hey, maybe we could go see Jasmine Sullivan. Maybe that could be lit. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, maybe I will. And so I'll talk to this guy more, but deep down I also want to pause on dating for a bit because, I don't know. There's so many reasons why me and Michael could have not worked recently. And it's just frustrating because it's like, I thought it was going to work. I thought I finally did well at the whole keeping a distance after sex and then popping back into someone's life instead of, like, trying to be clinky and needy immediately after. And it seems like that backfired somehow, and now me and him want to think. Tragic, but forget about it. Miss one, next 15 more coming. Costa Rica guy. And if Costa Rica guy tries to fuck up on me, which he's already tried to do, he tried to be like, hey, what if instead of Costa Rica, we did Idaho? I said, nigga, that's like saying, instead of Paris, let's do Fresno. What are you saying? Like, there's nothing in Idaho but fucking MAGA conservatives. And that's coming from my little fucking white homie who's 77. Even he knows. What were we out there for me? And he was like, you're right, my bad. And so we dipped. I mean, me and him are still talking. But even then, it's like, I'd like to have a guy who actually, like, let's just say, stop making promises and just do. Because Michael was already kind of, like, weirding me out. Because it's like, why are you trying to hype me up about, like, marriage and kids in the future with me? This is barely even our, like, official third date. It feels more like a second date. Because going to Walgreens is not exactly, and McDonald's isn't exactly a date. I don't know. But anyway, fuck Michael. And shout out to the new dude. But even then, I kind of just want to focus on myself. So I guess and a part of me is like, do I want to keep dating for survival? Because I know that no man is an island, and I do a lot better when I have someone that's consistently, like, I do well with romance, because it's like, this is someone who's consistent about their contact with me, usually the source of my orgasms and romance, and plenty more, and deep down, yeah, I want to feel good. I want to feel good without the reliance of other people, and I'm working on it. But I know myself well, and I seem to be doing well so far, and I'm happy about it. And I'm sure I'll be okay. I'll always be okay. If anything, I'll probably spend the rest of the night watching all my favorite movies off of Amazon Prime. Like, even movies on my bucket list. And I'll have fun. And I don't even need the R&B guy to talk to me to have fun. It's nice that he's around. He's not my everything. No, thank you. And finally, yet again, fuck the dude at the corner store. Sorry, I just remembered that. Because I'd like, it's like, nigga, you heard me say that I want a bag. And I said it several times. Like, and then you're getting an attitude with me when you're the one who isn't listening. If I say I want a bag, and I say it several times to your face, yes, I would like a bag. And then you proceed to not listen to me, get mad when I clearly say I want a bag again, and then you try to make me say it again as if I haven't already said it 5 fucking times. And then, like, I don't know, that's the type of retardation that gets on my nerves. Because it's like, if I say I want a bag, and I say it super clear as day, and you see me saying it like, yes, I would like a bag, and I enunciate, and then you proceed to not give me one, and I ask for it, and then you want to be like, oh my god, do you want a bag or do you not want a bag? Do you want a bag? It's like, sir, what else could I fucking have meant? It's like, you are not gonna make me say this shit another goddamn time. Anyway, well, let's just say that man has... I'm gonna just manifest that he's gonna get roundhouse kicked by a crackhead very soon. Or that he's gonna have a terrible interaction at his job. And I'll just kind of have to be like, you know what, sometimes water seeks at its own level, so he's gonna have himself a shitty job experience and totally go fuck himself. And, like, how do I put this? If he was a smarter person, a nicer person, he'd have a nicer job. But he doesn't. Which is why even when life has gone bad, I can still say that I have people who consistently care about me and want to treat me well. I can leave the house at any point in time I want and not have to pay for a single fucking meal or even a little bit of food by myself if I don't want to. I have people that do care, even when they struggle to show it. But, excuse me. And I know that if I wanted to right now, I have like at least 2 people I can start up conversations with who care about me and are nice to me. And people who would send me money if I needed it. And that nigga is gonna just work his fucking job with his shitty ass fucked up jaw and his shitty fucked up attitude, and he's gonna have to just keep enjoying his back-breaking labor and underpaid services and being spat on by crackheads. And I hope another crackhead spits on him. And I hope I get to be there and watch. Amen. Anyway, I think that's all for now. Let me end the video on a positive note. Because, sorry, and I know you're like, why did that rage just come back out of nowhere at the end? Oh, I just was looking at the food I got at the corner store and remembered it. Maybe I'll do my caffeine soon. To be a little bit of an upper. But let's just say I'm in a good mood, and I'm happy, and life is going well for me. And I know deep in my heart that I love to treat other people well, and I love to treat them with respect. And that does, like, I don't know if I want to say it makes me better than other people, but everyone has a rageness in them. Rage, insecurities, all that. I just wish other people would treat each other better. It's all that I want. And I wish that the guy at the corner store could have had more manners and mercy. To be sweet and kind enough to just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'll get you a bag. But you know what? I had more mercy, and I know I do, because even though I had all the rage and hatred that I had in my system, I didn't have any attitude with him. I still said my thank yous when I could. And I still was nice and polite. And he still, when he could, he showed discretion as well. But I wish people would be kinder to one another, because you never know what someone's going through. Still fuck that guy, though. But, like, he can suck a dick with his ugly ass, and he's gonna die more, like, sooner than I will, and I will happily outlive him. But yeah, at least I know that I love with all my heart, and I give where I can, and I truly want other people to feel good. I just wish that others could feel the same way. Anyway, that's all for me. Bye.